Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T, and I hope you're having a great day. 19-year-old Dylan Rounds' parents, Candice Cooley and Justin Rounds, appeared on East Idaho News yesterday with Nate Eaton. They were there in unison to express their shared frustration at the Box Elder Sheriff's Office's conduct in their missing son's investigation, and their desire to have the Box Elder Sheriff's Office step down as the lead agency investigating Dylan's disappearance. Candice and Justin also mentioned seeing YouTubers trespass on Dylan's farm and their grain shed property. Apparently, they've put cameras up and they can see when people come sniffing around. Candice and Justin are threatening to take action against anyone who trespasses. They're concerned that any evidence that might still be there for a different lead agency, hopefully the FBI, to find and process will be destroyed. A YouTuber who goes by the name of Salty Pancakes was out at both the grain shed property and Dylan's farm last weekend with Montello local Kurt Wadsworth. Salty filmed the areas for his viewers. I watched that footage and found it fascinating. Well, apparently Salty was inundated with messages yesterday telling him that Justin Rounds was going to sue him for trespassing. Salty, not one to wilt by such threats, picked up the phone and called Mr. Rounds. Salty was expecting to speak to a very angry Justin Rounds, and instead was surprised when a very calm, chilled-out Justin Rounds greeted him. They had a discussion, and Salty will not be heading to court anytime soon. It sounds like Justin Rounds is maybe a less aggressive person than his ex-wife, Candice, and I don't mean that in a negative way. It just sort of looks like Candice has been the one who's been the most vocal about her concerns, and Justin has been more comfortable trusting that law enforcement knew what it was doing and was doing all that it could to get answers. Take a listen to what he said.
They had the same amount of everything.
It was so frustrating in the beginning, and then I just kind of told myself I just got to have faith that they're doing what they're doing, and I've just kind of been hoping and praying that they were doing what they were supposed to be doing, and I've kind of been dragging my feet on doing what she's wanting to do, but we haven't talked to them at all. I don't know anything that's going on. I don't know.
It sounds like Candice convinced Justin that it was time that they both appear together on East Idaho News to say that they both want Box Elder to step aside, and Justin even admitted that perhaps he's been too laid back about it all. But back to Salty Pancakes. Salty was invited by Montello local Kurt Wadsworth to accompany him out to Lucin, Utah, to pick up his backhoe. While there, Kurt gave Salty a tour of Dylan's farm, the grain shed property, the dirt pile where Dylan's boots were found. It appeared that Salty was being respectful in these potential crime scene areas, but I do understand Candice and Justin's concerns. Again, if Dylan were my son, I'd want those key areas taped off and preserved so that the FBI could scour them for evidence. Instead of insulting Candice for being a strong, vocal female, we should be taking notes. Sometimes you have to step up and dare to voice your criticisms. So Candice and Justin have written a letter to the state of Utah to demand that Box Elder step aside and allow another agency to take the lead. Time will tell if they get their wish. I have to say, it must be so hard to see other parents of missing children get answers. Is it just a coincidence that Kylie Rodney was found on Sunday, and then on Tuesday, Candice and Justin were on East Idaho News? I think not. Now, keep an eye out for an episode I'm currently writing on 22-year-old Julissa Fuentes, who was last seen on August 7th, 2022 in Selma, California. Surveillance video showed Julissa at a gas station at 4 o'clock in the morning, and then her car turns out of the parking lot in the opposite direction to where she lives. Julissa's sister, who was in Los Angeles at the time and sleeping, had 2 missed FaceTime calls from Julissa, and no one has heard from her since. Adventures with Purpose are in Selma, California today, and they will begin searching for Julissa tomorrow. And they're doing that near a lake called Avocado Lake, because that's where her cell phone last pinged. There's a $5,000 reward for information leading to Julissa. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories, now do me a favor, smash that like button and subscribe to my channel.